So here we are in one of the main streets in Wiesbaden, which makes it very easy for the clients to come here. And so it's interesting. This is a small entrance we have here, and the entrance of the hairdresser is even larger, which is very good for the patients, so that not everybody sees where they are going to. That's also very interesting. So here's the psychotherapy center, so the outpatient clinic for adults, youth and children from all insurances, and then the Wiesbaden Academy of Psychotherapy. Then the World Association is also has its headquarters here. Through this small entrance, every day, you have to imagine, 200 patients go through this small entrance there then, yeah. But it's in the middle of the city, you see here it's very nice. So for the children it's very good, they come here by bus, they can get here then, or the children, the parents pick them up here. So that makes it very comfortable and so on then. Sometimes it's loud a little bit, but it's very practical again then for the people. So let's go and see. So we are now in the academy, and the other floors are the outpatient clinic, polyclinic. Now we're entering the administration and the seminar part then, yeah. Here we have our nice administration. Here are the licenses of our institute from Germany, and the one from the European certificate. Here we have a nice thing of the world conferences and international congresses we had in the last 24 years now. That's something very interesting. It's in German, but it shows it's called the complexity of the psychotherapy training. So we say that this is the admission interview we do, and that's the state examination then, yeah. So that's the thing which takes 4,200 hours postgraduate after a master degree in order to become a psychotherapist. So people have to go a 4,200 hour training, and that's the thing. Maybe just for historical interest, this is there have been a series of congresses. They were called Evolution of Psychotherapy, and it's about the founders of different psychotherapy schools. This is from 1994 in Hamburg. Unfortunately, many of these people are not living anymore, and my father also was present here. And then if you look at this, so you will find many persons you know only from books, and so it's very interesting. It was like one special generation which developed all these things then. So we go a little bit further. That's very interesting. This is the map of Germany, and these are psychiatric hospitals. We are here in Wiesbaden. The psychiatric hospitals, with about 150 we are cooperating, because the postgraduate students have to work 1.5 years in a psychiatric hospital, either for children or for adults, and so this shows a little bit the map and how it is. That's something also very interesting, is some of the books of the German colleagues, the trainers, supervisors, the books they have written, starting here from the original books of Nossrat Peseschkian, but also many other books then. Here these are the pictures of the German trainers, Dozent, as you say, trainers for the theory and self-discovery we have here, and then there are 300 to 400 supervisors in addition, so that's all over the place then. So it's a huge thing. And now we are entering a very interesting part. This is, so to say, today is no seminar here, therefore it looks a little bit empty, but imagine here 150 people at the weekend running around. These are the different groups we have here in the last 20 years then, when they come for the psychotherapy training. So they are doctors, psychologists and pedagogues. So they are they come once a month here, and then for this training. So the training takes place in groups and it's not like lectures at the university, so very practical with patients are introduced and so on then. So half of them have made the final examination, are practicing, and the others are still here then. And we have here altogether, it's 3,000 square meters. So it's really huge. It's 3,000 square meters, and about 1,000 is for the seminars and 2,000 square meters is for the treatment rooms. Altogether, if you can say that, it's more than 90 rooms here, 90 rooms here, and 55 treatment rooms. So it's really a large project we are doing. This is one of the largest seminar rooms we have here. You see the blue signs is still the Corona signs, so to say, then, so the like with distance and so. And you know, psychotherapists, especially in psychodynamic and humanistic psychotherapy, they always sit in a circle. Yeah, it's not like in a theater, yeah, classroom, but it's like in a circle. But this helps, of course, with the seminars and so on. Then, yeah. And now we leave the house on one side, and now we go to the back side of the house. So you see, and now we get here. There are 5 more seminar rooms. Maybe we can just look at one. So that's a normal, typical seminar room, so people can sit together for self-discovery, supervision, and so on. This we brought from the last World Congress with us. It was in October 2019 in Turkey. We had the 7th World Congress, and you see participants from so many countries. We had, I think, about 350 people. It was very exciting. And then just 3 months later, the pandemic came then, yeah? And now we are planning that October next year will be the 8th World Congress in Greece. So that's the next plan, but that's very impressive. And to really show that this transcultural is not just a slogan, but people are living this then. As I said, it's like a school building. If you show it and there are no students or pupils, it looks a little bit strange. So that's a large area. And now we go to the auditorium of this academy, which is this room. Now we just had there was like for a smaller group here. This room, usually as you see here from the chairs, is for 120 people. Yeah. So if there's no Corona pandemic rules, then we have 120 people here, and we had huge conferences here. So you can really imagine the vibration in that room, and it's a wonderful room with very light, you know, and from both sides, and which makes the working very positive. Well, and now these are the different rooms. If you want, we can just look quickly in that. They all are quite similar, and but it helps them to work. It's a very nice room. It is the teacher's room, so to say, Dozentenraum, teacher's room. Now again with Corona distance, so that's so usually at the weekend we have about 150 students. So there are about 10-15 trainers. So it's very nice they sit here. We can exchange because they come from different places of Germany. So we see them sometimes and so on then. And maybe something very interesting is we have once a year. We have a meeting with the main trainers in a hotel here nearby, in a wellness hotel. It's very nice. And then it's not, so about 30-35 get them together over a longer weekend. And it really, a team has developed. And this is not so easy because psychotherapists are usually working as individuals, you know, in a small room. But now we have really developed a team. People from psychoanalysts to positive psychotherapists, from body therapists to psychiatrists, and to get these people together, I think is also something special in this academy. And so I think it's a little bit also based on the spirit my father developed here the first 20 years. You know, the academy was established or got its license on the 1st of November 1979. We found this when my father passed away, we found this in his documents, this first, when the training started. And then, so 20 years was the training of doctors, and then later came then the training of psychologists and pedagogues. But these are information for the students. Are you looking for a job? And so on. And so we get from many clinics, we get job offers because they know there are so many students here. And so they're looking for people to work in the hospital and so on. That's also another room. I mean, it also looks, so really the conditions for the students are very nice. And from here you get a better overview about the academy. So this is the main academy, all 5 floors. The upper 2 floors are for child and youth psychotherapy. Then this is the administration and seminar area, and the 2 floors below there are for adult psychotherapy then, yeah. And I told you about 55 treatment rooms then, yeah. It's not a very beautiful building, but it's very practical. So, and I love practical things then, because for that purpose it's very good then, yeah. And so nobody gets lost here. And then we have something, we have like the representatives of the trainees, of the students, like speakers of residents. They are here, and they have even they gave themselves some bylaws also, you know, very German organized thing there. Here's it's now closed. It's a room of silence. So we have a few like places people can lay down and then relax, which is very nice. Now there are chairs because of the pandemic thing then. And this, of course, you know, balance is a very key issue of positive psychotherapy. So we say balance is the key of life, and everybody has to find his own balance. And then here the last one is like some kind of cafeteria and so in the breaks people are here. So this is the floor of the seminars and trainings, and as I said, the other floors are for the treatment of patients. And if I may say, this combination between the treatment of patients and the training of residents, this combination, it is really, we know it usually only from medicine, and this is something special in psychotherapy because so it's a very practical training. And that's a wonderful thing. And sometimes we ask the patients if they agree to come in the seminars and to share their story. And that's very interesting, because sometimes, you know, this is like a university, it's only some theoretical things, and how a patient comes and in the first interview, which is live, and the docent, the trainer, also does not know the patient before. So that's a very interesting thing. The treatment of adults. If you want, we can just have a short look at that. It's also the waiting room. These are also the resident psychologists and medical doctors, and you see more than 90% are women. So that's also something, I think it's worldwide like that. So the psychotherapist of the future, or maybe even of the present, is female, which also brings a lot of new challenges and opportunities with itself then, yeah. So something like that is like a typical room. The good thing is, of course, in psychotherapy, you don't need so much equipment. It's very easy. You need a pen, which I don't have just now. You have some piece of paper, and then you can work, which is very nice. And so you can, but I think it's a nice surrounding, but nevertheless, so you can really work with a client. And fortunately, also during the pandemic, we got very well here. Through that, everybody's careful, open the windows, and so, and about more than 90% are vaccinated, so this makes it also easier. But, yeah. You saw the water here on the table. Sometimes this is also like an icebreaker. I had recently a client, when he came in, I asked him, do you want to drink something? He said, no, I don't want to lose time. And I said, oh, that's exactly your theme. So we can start there, but because for him, relationships was a wasting of time. He wanted to get to the issue immediately. And of course, at home it is different with wife and children. So this is also some of the things we can use then. And this is really where we are very proud of. This is our library. Yeah. So, you know, we went book by book and really cataloged all these books, and they can read these books, rent the books, take them home. So that's wonderful. And German, English, some Russian, they have some journals. And here are some further treatment rooms then, yeah. For example, here you see besetzt, which means it is occupied. So they are working there then and so on then, yeah. But it's a very, very good surrounding, you see, for the client. Some of them said during the pandemic, it's like it's like an oasis when I come here, yeah. Because at home is so much stress, outside is stress, but here it's quiet, I have 1 hour time and so on. So that's also something very important. Well, now we are entering the entrance for the polyclinic or outpatient clinic. So here the clients come for the first time, and they are usually very impressed to see how many therapists are working here. But it's not all the pictures, so that we have more than 150 resident psychotherapists. Here left side are for adults, which are psychologists and doctors. Here on the right side are pedagogues and psychologists for child and youth psychotherapy then. So we have then here the registration, Anmeldung, registration. They fill out a questionnaire, and then we decide after that, do they get the first interview here with one of the main therapists then, or medical directors then. And here we are sitting here. And so again, there are some treatment rooms and so on then. So we are now here in the child and youth or adolescent psychotherapy clinic. Here are some of the colleagues which are the residents in psychotherapy, and this is like a waiting room usually, because now it's still it's in the morning, so the children come of course after school then. So this is one of the typical rooms we have for children. So you see different toys for girls, for boys, different things. And then also the consultation with the parents also takes place here. So it gives them, so you see, because you know in child psychotherapy especially, the play therapy is something very important. So sometimes, for example, you start the session, you're asking the child, what do you want to play today? Or which game do we want to do, for example, then? Or you know these things, you take the different figures and they have to show the family, and if the mother is the tiger and the father is the mouse, of course, then there's some questions, why is it like that? So there are some things like that. And then there's another room where there's full of toys so they can get them out, and also then, yeah, something like that. So sometimes it's very loud here and they make a lot of noises because these walls are, how to say, from gips or so. So you see, so sometimes they really hit here, and the children like that here they can be very loud. At the beginning, when we had other people were here, like we had the office of a lawyer was here and marketing, and so for them it was very stressful. Now when we are alone here, it's a little bit easier then, yeah. Okay. Every session is usually 50 minutes, and then so the patient also doesn't need to wait so long, because it's a fixed date, so they don't come just like that. And they said it's very, so a resident has a room several days per week, and then so they have their own schedule and so on, and like that. We have 500 children and youth here in therapy, and about 500 adults. So 1,000 people every week come in a regular therapy, which means 200 per day. So you see, it looks quite quiet, but it's because the people are in the sessions, and only at the end of the hour, then everybody's running around here.